Live.
All right. For most of us here, this is a very, very interesting period now. Welcome to the Dugout. It's a very special Dugout because 4 days from now, the test matches are going to begin. It's the season of red ball cricket when you look at the Indian situation, because it's a 5 test series between India and England. And trivia for most of you folks, most of us were not even born when the last 5 test series was played between India and England. It was way back in 1984 and 1985 that India and England engaged in a 5-match test series. And if you have to really look at it, England won that series 2-1. So when you look at 5...
Exactly the scoreline, Siddharth, wasn't it in 2012?
Yes, 2012. And there is a very interesting subplot. 2012 was the last time India had lost series at home. Since then, the kind of dominance that India has put on at home, it's next level. Even the great Australian and West Indies team never won that many series consecutively as this Indian cricket team has. When was the last time they drew a test series at home? You have to think about it.
Can't recall.
See, 13 and all.
See, there was a couple of occasions, yes, that India were in a position where they had to win the last test. And those occasions there a couple of times, but they did manage to get those wins that you were looking at series being drawn. But yeah, it's been a while now.
It's been a while, and I think the last drawn series was South Africa, 2010, 1-1.
See, England gave a scare last time that they were when they won the first test match in Chennai.
Yes.
And then they drawed the Visakhapatnam one. Was that the same series?
No, Visakhapatnam, the draw.
That was 16.
16.
Yeah.
Visakhapatnam was 16.
Hasib Hamid. So see, in the last 2 tests,
when they played out those 50 overs.
Yeah.
No, more than, I think, 1.5 days they played.
Yeah, they had to play 1.5 days.
Yeah, the first task was to see off day 4, play those 50 overs, which they did.
And then 90 overs after that.
Yes.
And that's why batting and surviving in India is such an ordeal. Because see, after 2012, India beat England 4-0 in the series. Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, that was a 5-match series. Let me just be very certain. 2016-17.
Yeah.
That was a 5-match test series. Because if you look at it, 16.
At home, it's been a while, but
no, it was at home only.
No. Yeah, after that, this is the first time.
8 years. 8 years down the line. And 8 years down, that was actually a 5-match test series. 4-0, which you won. Then afterwards, if you look at it, 2020-2021, after Joe Root's double ensured that England won that match in Chennai, India dished out sandpits.
Yeah.
Let's be very honest about it.
That series will also be remembered for one Indian individual's batting effort.
Yeah. Ash. And I would remember more for the bowling. Aksar Patel.
But Karun Nair?
No, I'm talking about 2021.
No, I went back to
16, yeah.
16, 17. There was
16, 17. Yeah. Virat Kohli 235 at
KL Rahul 199.
And Karun Nair's 100. But he never got to play after that.
Yes.
And if you look,
but it's you can't say that Ishan Kishan started this trend. Maybe it was Karun Nair who did.
Yeah.
See, Ishan hit a double 100, wasn't seen after that, was dropped.
Twice.
Karun also, he hit a triple 100. And we didn't see him after that.
We didn't see him after that, and we wonder what went wrong. What went wrong for him? And we remember that 16-17 series also for Jayant Yadav and Virat Kohli's record partnership for the 9th wicket. And then 2021. Let's shift our attention to 2020-2021 because Joe Root's double.
Yeah.
Then after that, those horrendous pitches that you got in the one test in Chennai and in Ahmedabad.
Ahmedabad was...
The pink ball test lasted only 1.5 days.
Yeah.
Aksar Patel spinning away.
It was
I would say.
Abomination of a wicket, truth be told.
It was.
Joe Root took a fiver there.
Aksar Patel bowling straight deliveries and England not able to play.
Darting the balls and they were just, they had lost in the
But you know what, I think again, because I remember I disagreed. I disagreed when we were talking about the second test match, the pitch we were
Chennai.
deliberating. No. The tour to South Africa, the shortest match. That
642 balls, yes.
And we were deliberating about the pitch and all, and I was okay. I remember saying over here that I was okay and I would have gone with an average rating. which it turned out to be later on as well, or a below average rating, which was then termed as unsatisfactory,
Yes.
something new
Yes.
that we learned courtesy the ICC. So if tracks are to turn again, and I said that thing back then also, and I'm only echoing Rohit Sharma's sentiment. There's a lot of talk, as always is, when England are visiting to India, or for that matter Australia are visiting India. There's a lot of talk on the pitch, the fact that it'll turn. I'll again go back to saying what Rohit Sharma had said, and I think I'll be fine with that. It's nowhere written that a pitch can't turn from day one. If it's turning square, maybe then you can have an argument to make perhaps, and it's making things absolutely unplayable. But if there's some grip from day one, which it could be, and I think I'll be fine with that, as long as it's not turning square maybe, and it's not cracking up on the first day. The wear and tear shouldn't be visible, and that you see, puffs of dust from the coming from the pitch. You should be prepared. Like Rohit Sharma said, don't make any hue and cry about the pitch. It's the surface both teams play on. We saw added bounce, additional bounce in South Africa. You won over there. So don't have any complaints when you come over here. I like what Rohit Sharma said. He was very upfront about it.
He was upfront about it, and because of that now, it's a very interesting backdrop because of two things. One, the pitch dynamics.
But England has made it clear that they would not be complaining about the wicket.
They better not.
They better not, because see now.
But they will. I'll tell you what. They must be. They may be saying it right now, but they will. You look at how even the leading newspapers over there. You look at their coverage.
Yeah.
Even when, let's say, India not playing England, it tells you how. There's a thing or two that doesn't go well with them, and they don't spare any words in terms of spelling it out whenever possible or whenever they get that little room. And I expect them to take the same road, and it'll be a story. I can tell you, it'll be a story for us. The way the narrative sort of changes for them. Again, if it's bouncy and swingy, it's fine for them. But again, the time that it starts to spin, well, you can't be complaining as much as they do.
Well, we don't know whether they'll complain or not, but yeah, with typical England, if you look at it, they might. But let's not get ahead of ourselves because they haven't said anything. Because there are two aspects leading into this India versus England Test series. Three, in fact. One, both sides are coming off a drawn series in their previous assignments. England drew 2-2 in the Ashes. Then after that, India have drawn 1-1 to South Africa. Another missed opportunity for India. So the second aspect is the pitches. In India, whether you will dish out flat pitches or you will dish out sand pits.
But something that we are sort of missing here is that it's the first time these two teams will compete after the Bazball test match.
That's the thing.
There's only one test match that India and England have played.
In the Bazball era.
Yes, since the start of the Bazball era, which goes back to May 22.
That one of
July 2022. July.
Yeah.
July, August, in that period. Because see, Bazball, now that has redefined the way how England are playing test cricket. Only England. I'm not going to give Bazball, it revolutionized cricket, because in the past, we have seen Virat Kohli do that same kind of thing. We have seen Virender Sehwag do that same kind of
Rishabh
thing.
Pant
We have seen Rishabh Pant do that. They play Bazball much before Bazball.
But the difference here is, here we are talking about specific individuals, and that is their whole team style of play.
That's right. You look at how somebody like a Joe Root has changed his template. The man who would play conventional, dogged, determined, resolute cricket, played the textbook way. He has torn and ripped apart his own textbook. And he's playing paddle sweeps. He's playing reverse paddles. He's reverse sweeping in a test match. He does it on the first ball at times.
Yeah.
He does it. He is.
And this
Neil Wagner would know.
It's bizarre, entertaining, dramatic.
Yep. And it swept results. It swept results because see, out of the 18 tests in the Bazball era, they have lost only 4.
And drawn 1.
Yep.
And this shows the belief the team has in this method, because someone like a Joe Root who had such a specific and orthodox way of thinking, even such people have changed their mindset. So this just shows how truly they are believing into this.
One thing you have to give that, more often than not, and that's credit I think to Brendan McCullum and Ben Stokes, because it couldn't have happened if, let's say, one party was on board with the thought and the other wasn't. Because again, to convince somebody like a Joe Root and some of the other senior pros as well in the side that, listen, this is how we're going to play our cricket, this is what our approach is going to be. So you've got to, delve into it, you've got to, believe in that theory, you've got to adapt to it and play it the way that we want to. Because it couldn't have happened had, let's say, just been the thought process of 2 individuals. to get everybody on board, and it's a sea change for the way that Test cricket has been conceived and has been played by not just England themselves but every other nation all around. For you to do something outlandish, because this is outlandish if you ask me, the kind of cricket that they're playing right now can make them look like fools at times, and it has happened on a couple of occasions, like we saw in that
Ashes Test, Birmingham.
Ashes Test match, Birmingham, where we saw that early declaration which wasn't needed with a couple of wickets still left. There was absolutely no need for England to declare. They were okay, but then even after that came back into the Test series. Almost won it had it not been for the rain gauze
in Manchester
to deny them the win in Manchester. So again, so much has gone their way. Couple of occasions things haven't gone their way. They're actually playing with what we call here in India jigra. They're playing with a lot of jigra at the moment, and they have it in them. Unlike, let's say, us as Indians, us as individuals, us as a sporting nation, I don't think, again, it's that safety first approach. We've always liked that cushion. We've always wanted that measured approach, which is why we played things the way things are conventionally. But like Shashwat said, it's the philosophy of the entire bunch, not one or two individuals. With India, like you said, there were a few individuals doing Bazball, but those were in individual capacities. That was just the Virat Kohli way of playing at times, not always. Rishabh Pant, you could say. Rishabh Pant always and always, but maybe and a Virender Sehwag, but we're going a long way back. Nobody in the present generation you can name.
3 players.
Maybe you could say even the all-conquering West Indies or all-conquering Australians.
But again, it's the fact that it's the philosophy of an entire unit.
Unit, I'm talking about a unit only, because look, Bazball was conveniently given a marketable term, okay?
Okay.
You mean to say that the likes of Hayden, Ponting, Clark, Simons, Gilchrist, Langer, they themselves made a whole unit. They also played cricket fast forward.
They did, Siddharth, but again, that side also had it in them to, frustrate the opposition. Maybe not score a lot of runs in a particular session, maybe do it the next session. But this England doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
It's an England side that scores about 120 runs in the opening session, gets about 300 and declares on day one.
Yeah.
I think what you're trying here to, I just want to understand, because I haven't really seen that era of players. They had that thought process somewhere. They were definitely playing fast forward cricket, the Justin Langer side, Australian side, but they were just a little fast forward. Here, they're not going by the orthodox thought process. They have their own thought process which is working for them and at times not working for them also.
Yeah, because see, this is the dynamic that's going to make this series very, very interesting. That's the topic of the dugout also, because see, can Bazball, the way how they have been playing, okay, can it halt India's home dominance? Because see, the one time India faced Bazball, it was on a true wicket in Edgbaston.
That was absolutely true.
378 runs India couldn't defend. And they lost the chance to win the series 3-1. It became 2-2. Bazball's one exhibition that you had in the subcontinent came in Pakistan, where they absolutely bulldozed them 3-0.
3-0.
I mean, I cannot get over the fact that England managed to score 657 runs in 101 overs. That was they were stuck in 7th gear.
That's why Harry Brook got a Big Daddy 100, right?
Broke, even if you look at it, Duckett, you look at Crawley, that was a second homecoming for them. Brook, Root, Duckett, you look at Bairstow I think didn't play that series, I don't think so. But all the England batters batted as if they were in 7th gear throughout.
But I think, again, Pakistan did what India won't be doing, which is dish out absolute, flat, dead as a dodo wickets, where you just come, it's like batting on cement nets, nets where you have just cement tracks.
Yep.
Just go play down the line, no problems at all. It was bowlers were made to look like bowling machines over there. Again, in those 3 times, one being in Lahore, the other in
Rawalpindi. Yeah, and I think other was in Karachi.
Or was it Multan?
I think it was Multan or Karachi. I'll have to rewind.
Whatever, all 3 wickets so poor.
Yeah.
Those were actually poor wickets. As ICC should have actually rated those wickets. And I will say it whatever time that I have to say it. That dead wickets, wickets which have no life in them, nothing for the bowlers, flat as a pancake, have to be rated poor as well. You talk about contests being even between the bat and the ball.
Yes.
It's got to be even in that sense as well. Doesn't mean that batters go have a field day like that and there's tons and tons of runs being scored.
Because see, this pitch dynamic will dominate the most of the discourse in this dugout. Why I'll tell you? Because see,
So that going forward as well.
also
Going forward, all those 5
this is
matches.
good. Yeah, it will be there. Because see, Hyderabad, Vizag, Ranchi, if you look at Ranchi or Rajkot and Dharamshala, 5 wickets. Every pitch will have its own different characteristics at this point in time. But I'll tell you why the broader picture of the pitch. As Harshit said, you can't dish out flat decks. Because if you do, then
You're probably losing it then.
Yes.
You're probably losing. Which is what your fear, by the way, was in WTC in the World Cup final also.
Yeah.
In the whole world.
Which should have been actually the thing. You should have given a flat track. The better batting side wins.
Yeah, and here also I feel that.
But here you won't do that.
No, but here I think the ideal pitch that is required for a test match, that is that help for the bowlers on the first day, starts getting better on the second and third day is the best day to bat. Fourth, fifth day, there is help for
But these
bowlers.
definitions are long gone.
That is,
Exactly. No,
I
this
think
should
you're
be
going to
like
Australia then.
Ah.
You're going to Australia because I'll tell you why.
But this is the ideal pitch where I think India should give and where it could be, and because
But in last year's Shashwat BGT as well, we didn't see any of those tracks.
Except you may
You
say
did
in Nagpur. No, Indore was a horrible wicket.
Indore was bad. Indore was bad.
Delhi was bad.
Delhi was not that bad, but yeah.
Nagpur was actually better.
Nagpur.
Because that
it
was
was
the
bad because Aksar had to come and save you. He had to get that partnership with Ashwin.
Nagpur is where Rohit got 100.
100,
right?
yeah. And
The only
Ahmedabad.
100, by the way, that you saw before the Ahmedabad test from rather in the series.
Yeah, exactly. So that is the problem. If you are encountering this England cricket team on a Bazball kind of a situation, you can't dish out flat decks. But second, if you dish out a sandpit, India, more often than not, they fall into that trap. Just see Indore. Just see Pune of 2017. Just see what has happened in the past 6 years. Whenever you produce sandpits, you've fallen head first into that. Now, how are you going to ensure what is the balanced pitch that you're going to create? Because remember, England, they may struggle against spin. You got Ashwin and Jadeja, who in their own right are the ultimate duo when it comes to spin bowling. In 2012, they were there when they were just taking baby steps into international cricket. Jadeja made his debut in Nagpur. Ashwin was just about becoming the Ravichandran Ashwin that we see now. 10 years later, 11 years later, they are the ultimate match winners that we've got.
But
how many games has the duo won for them? Innumerable. 13, I remember they were at the forefront in giving India 4-0 whitewash over Australia. 3-0 against South Africa, 4-0 against England, 2-1 against Australia, 3-0 against New Zealand. The recent BGT, it was Ashwin Jadeja, whatever way you look at it. You look at even the South Africa series, the England series prior to that, everywhere you've seen Ashwin and Jadeja wreak havoc on these wickets. But has the batting stepped up? That is a different equation, because in sandpits, even the Indian cricket team struggles.
The recently, or rather, that won't be recent, but yeah, the BGT that you saw
Indore,
last year
yeah.
was a perfect example until you reached Ahmedabad. How many centurions did you see?
One.
Yeah.
Just one. And looking at the WTC dynamics, okay. WTC dynamics, I remember a recent comment by Mark Butcher, the former England batsman. He said, the WTC is actually causing more harm to test cricket. Why? Look at the quality of pitches that have been delivered, especially in the subcontinent. A draw is out of the equation.
Yeah.
Now you have to produce results which may last either 2 days or 3 days or 5 days.
Agreed.
Look at what happened. India were almost on the cusp of elimination and they needed New Zealand to do them a favor because of their draw against New Zealand in Kanpur. That was a flat deck, kind of.
I don't.
Now, what is the kind of pitch you are going to create?
I think it's not going to be what I feel is that England having 5 spinners in their squad.
Yeah.
is
Can you name the
definitely-
spinners if you can?
They have
Shoaib Bashir.
Shoaib Bashir.
Jack Leach.
Shoaib Bashir is a tall off spinner.
Off spinner.
20
Jack
years
Leach,
old.
left arm orthodox.
They have Rehan Ahmed as well.
Leg spinner. Okay. And he did well in the Pakistan series.
They have Joe Root.
They have Joe Root. who picked up a 5-wicket haul on that sandpit in Ahmedabad.
Yes.
And who's the fifth?
Tom
Hartley.
Tom Hartley.
Hartley.
Yep.
Left arm.
Left arm.
Yeah.
Now look, India's batsmen sometimes do struggle
Yeah,
against.
that's why I was that's what I was trying to tell you is that I feel somewhere or the other England's getting 5 spinners was a mental move also, because what this would have done is that this would have gotten into the Indian management's head, thinking of this fact that they have gotten their 5 quality spinners, because they did not need 5 spinners in their side. I'll tell you why. They would anyways not play more than 3 spinners. It's not like it's this side is just for two matches.
Is Root the third, or there's 3 spinners plus
3
Root?
spinners plus Root.
3 spinners plus Root and just 2 fast bowlers. And
Yeah, Ollie Robinson and
Robbins-
James Anderson.
Yeah.
Anderson.
So what I feel is that they did not need it. It's not like that they have an England Lions side also here. So if at last moment someone would have gotten injured, they could have easily gotten anyone. I think more than tactically, this is a more strategic mental game that the England side is
That we are
playing.
also ready.
That we are also ready by getting 5 spinners. That is what I feel.
But I'm not too sure how threatened, let's say, India would be by this side. I'll tell you why. How much experience as a test playing nation or as test bowlers do these guys have? Rehan Ahmed,
Very inexperienced. Bashir and Hartley.
Bashir probably, I think he's
Making
made
his
a
debut.
call up or something.
Yeah. Tom
Right.
Hartley also, I guess, not too experienced. You've got a Jack Leach. Okay.
You've got a Jack Leach.
Who is
You
experienced
can be
in India
wary.
also.
You can be wary of a Joe Root also. He's after all done
And
well
remember,
against
you've
you.
got 3 pacers. Anderson is in his 41st
And
year. He's doing great.
I am not sure if England again go in with that approach of wanting to play 3 spinners. They should ideally. But again, do you leave a Mark Wood on the bench?
That's the thing. And on these wickets, can Mark Wood really deliver? See, 90 plus.
Maybe then Siddharth, barring a Dharamshala, I can't think of a venue where they would actually want to play a James Anderson. Remember, he was scratching the Ashes as well, which is why he was dropped.
I think, see, your problem
So
is
maybe he doesn't play all the matches.
only Ollie Robinson and Mark Wood.
Mark
then.
Wood, yes. Then maybe the only time that I'm saying Dharamshala gives you some hope also. Conditions
But remember, rough wicket, rough outfield, reverse swing, no one better than James Anderson.
But again, it's
Ben
again
Stokes
about
won't bowl.
Ben Stokes won't bowl.
composition. What's the composition? And again, do the 3 spinners then give them the confidence that they let go of somebody like a Mark Wood then?
You may want to try only Rehan Ahmed and Jack Leach. Jack Leach is a certainty.
And
but
make
why
do with
would-
the Joe Root.
Would you go with Rehan Ahmed?
You would want to, because see,
Because you in a leg spinning option you have a Joe Root.
no, he's an
Yeah,
off spinner.
off spinner.
Off spinner.
He's an off spinner.
But,
So-
Bashir you're talking about.
Yeah, Bashir.
Maybe a Bashir or either of Hartley or Leach. You're not playing 2 left armers, right? Bashir is an off spinner. Do you want to explore the entire gambit? Leach, Bashir, Hartley, Rehan Ahmed, knowing fully well that you got a Root who can bowl off spin. So, my situation is Bazball can only function well if your bowlers can do well, if you pick the right composition of bowlers, but also if your batters can conquer the conditions. Who's let you down? It's not been the bowlers who've let you down, it's been the batters. Their technique against spin. And remember, fast forward, the same Ben Duckett or Joe Root or Ben Stokes can fall either with a 50 ball 100 or can get for a 5 ball duck. It can happen with that kind of a knife edge. England are walking on a knife's edge. They can either perform a Houdini act or they can get shish kebabbed. That is the way England cricket is playing at this point in time.
But coming to it, let's try and get the.
Let's look at the pitch dynamics.
But if we have to move
Are
forward,
India shooting themselves in the foot if they are playing on sandpits, or are they shooting themselves even more in the foot by preparing a flat deck?
No, I think India is playing to their strengths. I'll be very honest. During the World Cup, of course, I wasn't in favor of the wickets that we were getting, and that a very different reason for that. But here, I think it's your home ground. You have to take advantage of that. And here, I think you're not playing on their weaknesses, England's weaknesses. You're more
Playing on your strengths.
On your strengths, because I'm saying if England has 5 spinners and they play with 5 spinners also, India knows that their 2 quality spinners are going to be more effective in these conditions, because they know these conditions, of course. So I think it's more about playing on their strength. I don't think it should matter, and I think they should go with the Turner only.
By the way, because see, you are saying India are playing according to the conditions.
Yeah. On the strengths.
On their strengths, right? On their strengths. But I honestly want to ask you, what are India's strengths?
Spin bowlers.
Again, no. On a sand pit, you got caught out. On a flat deck, England will definitely catch you out.
The only thing, Siddharth, again, and which is why I feel flat tracks won't be the way to bail India out, or would be the way that India would want the tracks to be, because with, again, going by convention, going by what's the sort of legacy that this Indian team has, let's say you have the sort of legacy where it's believed and it's perceived that, you know, the Indian batters know how to tackle spin, and they've done that in the past.
Yeah.
It's just that over the last couple of years now, you've been caught against spin across formats, one can say. But it also coincided with the fact that, yes, let's say your premier batsman was struggling and was in the worst form of his life for about 2.5 years then. It also coincided with the fact that there was a leadership change. It coincided with COVID and so much happening. So combination of things, let's say. But again, flat tracks, you know, you're giving England a bit more chance. This is an England side wanting to prove a point, and you know they're coming hard at you. The only way to peg them back is again going back to your strengths, which, if let's say your batters don't give you, the bowlers most certainly do. Don't forget you've got somebody like a Ravichandran Ashwin in your ranks. Don't forget you've got somebody like a Jadeja in your ranks. You've got a Kuldeep as well. Who knows at some point you play Aksar as well, if you were to have the kind of pitches that you saw in Ahmedabad a couple of years back. So who knows, if you see all three of them, in fact, or not four perhaps, that'll be a bit of a stretch.
Yeah.
And maybe then Kuldeep might have to sit out. But again, the Indian team would know best as to what, you know, what pitch offers what.
Yep.
But I think the best chance for India to have pitches which offer a decent amount of turn, because that's where maybe you can put the brakes on somebody like a Brook, Root, Bairstow, Stokes for that matter, who absolutely loves hammering spinners once he's in that flow.
But again, remember, he faces his own kryptonite in Ravichandran Ashwin.
Yes.
Left-handers, he always, and he's dismissed, I think, the left-hander he's dismissed the most is Ben Stokes.
Ashwin?
Ashwin, yes. I think he's dismissed him the most number of times.
Well, I hope then Stokes in that case is listening to what Kevin Peterson has had to say about Ravichandran Ashwin.
But remember, Peterson talking about spin is a bit rich. I'll tell you why. I mean, no disrespect to KP. He was one of the best England ever had. An ultimate match winner.
Absolute.
But KP looked like a novice against left arm spin. Any left arm spinner would come, he would be trapped, LBW or bowled.
Yeah.
It happened with Vettori, it happened with Abdul Razak, it happened with Shakib, happened with Jaddu, happened with Pragyan Oja. I remember Pragyan troubled Peterson a lot.
12-13 series.
Yes, right? Pragyan troubled.
Pragyan, in fact, interestingly, was, I think he was the leading wicket taker that series.
Yes.
But again, if you go back to that series, and again, it tells you so much. The leading wicket takers, Siddharth, of that series also, the top three were spinners.
Graham Swan, Monty Panesar.
Correct. Both of those, them cumulatively taking about 35 or 37 wickets.
I think
20
so.
for one, 17 for the other,
Yes.
if I'm not mistaken.
You're right.
So, again, what does that tell you? And those were the times also again, that series also gave you a lot of turn. Those tracks gave you a lot of turn.
Of course.
Not the turn amount of turn we get now.
No. Mumbai was a ranked devil turner from day one.
Which is why that
Anderson bowled just 4 overs.
Which is why Kevin Peterson's innings is continued to talk about even after a decade.
Yes.
That 186 was something
Kolkata
else.
was flat, Ahmedabad was flat, Nagpur was an absolute featherbed. And that's why you look at even 16-17, the pitches there were pretty good. Rajkot was good. Mohali was good, Vizag was good, then you look at Mumbai and Chennai, it all lasted until the 5th day, and it was a true wicket. England collapsed. That's why I'm saying, how will Bazball be effective? If England's batters step up. England's batters have to step up, otherwise see, the entire Bazball template falls flat. I mean, look at it, the 4 losses that you're seeing, won by an innings against South Africa. What does that point out to? Batting failure. You look at Edgbaston, it was a batting failure. Lords, barring that Ben Stokes miracle of 155, it was a batting failure. Look at the New Zealand loss that they had by 1 run.
1 run.
It was a batting failure. They had to chase 255, if I'm not mistaken, they lost by 1 run. It was a Ben Foakes tried, everybody else tried. Route 96, but look at the shots that he played. A slog. Ben Stokes, knee already gone. Slog. That was the situation.
Yeah.
So that is why I'm saying it is a rather pathetic situation that you're facing with England now. Because see, their batters need to step up. And you look at Bazball at this point in time. It works on a template. If your batters do well, your bowlers will automatically do well. So that is the best part about it. Your batters have to perform.
But if you were to sort of say, black and white, do they have the wherewithal to challenge this Indian team? Probably go back with a draw, let's say. A drawn series. I know they'll take that. And
a drawn series means 2-2. You're expecting one pitch to give out a full 5-day feather bed.
Perhaps. I'm just saying, if you are, let's say, going with a 2-2, I won't say 1-1, that'll be a bit of a stretch. But let's say if you're looking at 2-2 over here, do they have the wherewithal to even take a 2-2 or not? Or do you think perhaps they have it in them to make it 3-1?
No, I don't think so. Because see, this England batting, if you look at the best bowling unit that challenged them, the Aussies, they fell flat. Let us be very honest, a 2-2 scoreline is okay. But then they lost it in the first 2 tests. But they lost it due to tactics and because of poor batting.
I'm just saying, would you not think that they would have learned from there?
We hope so.
They've had time to reflect on it now.
Yes, because see, that series ended in July.
Yes.
Now it's been 7 months since then and you're going to play a test series now. But they are encountering a totally new dynamic called spin.
Which they haven't truly done so in the Bazball era.
This is the first real test against a quality spin bowling lineup.
Yeah.
You can't count Pakistan. Pakistan, they were so woeful.
And they don't have those kind of
The pitches were woeful, the bowling was woeful, the batting was woeful. I mean, imagine on that road, you gave away 8 wickets, 9 wickets in 2-3 sessions. I can understand Anderson bowled well in that series. I mean, among the Bazball exponents, he bowled brilliantly. But come on, I don't think I see India winning the series, I would say, rather comfortably.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, England may be all filibuster and they be all say, oh, we will do this, we will do that. Ollie Robinson said, we'll play on the ego of Virat Kohli. Swan is saying that, okay, you need not get intimidated by India. And also, another lot of experts have said, don't get intimidated. Play
to your strength.
Kevin Peterson has said, Jadeja's no Murli or Vaughan.
Yeah.
But for all the bluster, it's all in the mind. See, England have told counties, prepare flat decks. But where is your next quality spinner after Graham Swan? England's decline did not begin after retirement of their batters.
What about Jack Leach and the role that he played in Headingley?
But with the bat, he's remembered more.
He tried his best too.
He did it almost did it against New Zealand.
Yeah.
It could have been another spectacular one, but it didn't happen. But remember, when England fell from #1 pedestal, it was not because of the retirement of the batters. It was when Graham Swan retired.
Yeah.
It was Swan who allowed the likes of Anderson, Broad and Tim Bresnan to do their work with the ball.
But do you think that there's going to be a drawn test match? I don't think in this series we are going to
I
see
said
any-
4-1 in India's favor.
That's why I feel the same 4-1 India's favor. Because
I don't see England winning 4-1.
4-1.
4-1.
That's
I'm
a big
saying
prediction.
one match they may make
See,
a
I
mistake.
think- no, I think here it's more about it's the fight between the quality spinners. Whose spinners would bowl better, they would eventually win the series.
Could be.
Yeah.
Well said.
Exactly. See, we know that Ashwin Jadeja will bowl well.
Because
but
batting, I think, as far as spin is concerned, I don't think that India, I'll be very honest here, India would be it would be a difference of 5-6% if India would be better in playing spin as compared to England. Because in recent years, we have seen India falling in their own trap also. Quite a lot of times.
that is the problem.
So that's why
See,
I think
for me, you know what is the problem, Shashwat? When you say about, you just said it, we are falling into our own sandpits.
Yeah.
Which is why I don't know what is the strength of the Indian cricket team.
In
The
Test
con-
cricket, nothing your spinners are your strength.
But will the batters step up? Because see, in the BGT, Delhi was on a knife's edge.
Yeah.
If you had
Even
lost
Akhtar and
Delhi
Akhtar.
and if you had lost Indore, that's it. The BGT was gone from your hands. It only took a brain fade by Australia in the last one session to lose 9 wickets.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they were comfortably they were in a good position by the end of day 2.
Yeah.
Day 3, they just squandered it to Jadeja. They just lied low and said, okay, Jadeja, please run roughshod over us. So that is why for India, if England can adopt a measure of approach, calculated approach, that term doesn't exist, no, but certain things in test cricket, you have to adopt that.
Yeah.
No, but
Look at the conditions. Do you mean to say if Bazball was there in that Ahmedabad test match of 2021, that ping ball nightmare, can the result have been changed? It's all up to that situation when you attack. Why was that knock by Peterson so talked about? He chose to attack at a particular moment.
Yes.
It wasn't blind attacking.
Especially the time that he started hitting over the covers, inside out.
That is why Peterson's Mumbai knock should be replayed for generations and generations of England cricketers as to how you should play spin in India.
Yeah.
For England, that is the blueprint. For Australia, the blueprint is Steve Smith. How to play spin. He was brilliant in that 2017 series. Here, he seemed to be okay. His powers seemed to be on the wane. But that Peterson knock should be replayed
But I
over
think
and over again.
if somehow England batters try to get a hold of the Indian spinners and they sort of get to a 200, 250 sort of a total in each innings, then I think it could be there would be a chance for England definitely, because even they have gotten their spinners, and the spinners, Jack Leach has experience of bowling in Indian conditions.
Yeah. But luckily, this time he's not facing Rishabh Pant. Because Pant would
He
just.
would take him to the cleaners. Yeah.
I mean, in Chennai, I saw he
Even
was.
Anderson, that reverse, I would never forget.
Yes, in Ahmedabad, I think that
Yeah.
was. Yes. So England,
The new ball.
England luckily are not facing up to the threat of Rishabh Pant, because I think in the last 2 series he's been outstanding.
Yeah. They were really scared. I think that was the Rishabh Pant era. It was after the BJT in Australia when they came to India.
Yes.
They actually delayed their declaration because of Rishabh Pant, and that series actually.
I think he got out for a 96, if I'm not mistaken, in honor of test. So yeah, that's the situation. So I feel, I'll then throw it open to the gentleman here, that I feel England's Bazball might not end India's home dominance. Because I think they lack the application to attack in the right moment. You can attack, but when is the right moment to attack?
No, I don't think that is the problem here. I think the problem more is that they don't have that sort of quality spinners that we have, and also a reason is that they don't have those sort of spinning tracks back home, of course. So I think because we are playing in India, isn't giving that level playing field here, and then it's just competition between the two spinning all the spinners. What I feel is, if some country comes with extremely good spinners, that is the country I think that could actually challenge India.
Which Nathan Lyon did, which Todd Murphy did, Matthew Kuhneman did, but still, but why did Australia still lose? Because the batters let you down. You need the batters to neutralize Ashwin and Jadeja. If they have the right technique, then England can potentially end India's unbeaten dominance that's been there for 12 years. They have a win-loss ratio of 12. India, yaar. Come on. It's not a joke.
I don't quite think. I don't really have a prediction to make at the moment as to what the scoreline could be at the end of the series. But I don't think England are going with the win here and taking the series home. For the simple reason, because I'd like to believe that Test cricket has been played a certain way for generations now for a certain reason, and that is that you need to bide your time, you need to understand when to attack, and this is the antithesis of Test cricket, what you're seeing right now. That's not to say that India won't be challenged. Yes, they will be, but again, it will just be a reminder, I think, to, of course, Baz and co. and the world that Test cricket can't just be, attack. It can't be just full-blooded attack at all times. You need to have patience, you need to have caliber, and it will be found wanting, especially against spin. Again, pace bowling is something, again, we know, swinging conditions, England against those batters, it's ingrained in them, they'll never be faced by pace bowlers. Probably they will be faced, if at all, then by spinners. Spin bowling will face, let's say, batters coming from anywhere else but the subcontinent. So again, quality spinners in Jadeja, in Ashwin, I think, and in Kuldeep that they're going to face. I think they will have to at some point in the series look back and see where is it that we can change our approach a bit, because things aren't working out. And I think there'll be a few times that they'll have to do that. So that's why I don't think they're challenging this Indian side, which are damn good playing at home.
And remember, pitches will be result oriented because they can't afford a draw because of the WTC dynamics also. And remember, for India, they have actually had one draw and one loss, which is kind of teetering on thin ice for them compared to the previous cycle. There was a draw and a loss there also.
Windies also we drew a test.
We drew a test, and we lost to South Africa.
South Africa,
Which is why you will have to get your results going your way.
That draw in the Windies, by the way, that second test match.
Second rain.
Yes, I think that will haunt, or could haunt.
Could haunt. Because see, this is your only crucial series that you're playing amongst the big teams, I may say, among the big three. Because 5 tests now, then you play home series against Bangladesh and New Zealand. But then your next major assignment again could be a preview.
Away.
Again a preview to a WTC final. Could be Australia versus India. BGT in Australia this time around. 5 tests.
Set.
Exactly.
5 tests starting with the. There will be one before Boxing Day. So yeah, second.
See, I think the schedule is pretty clear. 5 tests. Opening test in Gaba.
In Sydney.
Gaba. Sydney will be New Year's.
New Year. December will start, no?
Yeah.
So second test will be
MCG.
No. Second test will be ping ball, Adelaide. It's
So
confirmed.
you're saying 2 before Boxing Day, maybe?
3 before Boxing Day.
Yeah, because Boxing Day is the second last and New Year's is the last.
New Year's,
Last time in 2020, 2021, what happened? COVID.
Which is why you.
Which is why the whole schedule was changed. That's why.
Gaba in the last.
Gaba is always your series opener, and the remainder of the time it's never. I don't know. I've done a video on why Cricket Australia's scheduling has been panned this time around. The ping ball test, and traditionally what should have been your series opener should be Brisbane and Adelaide. Brisbane is your last test of the home summer. Ping ball test is in Brisbane. Although Brisbane has hosted ping ball tests in the past, but still. And that is why, if you look at it, India will play the 5 tests. 3rd test will be at Optus. 4th will be Melbourne. 5th will be Sydney. And I think you'll be playing some ODIs before you prepare for the Champions Trophy also. Wow. Remember, the Champions Trophies, I don't think in June or July. It will be around February, March.
It's in September, we checked that day, no?
September 2025.
Yeah, I think so. I'm not sure, but yeah, that day we checked.
I heard
Where is it?
Pakistan.
Oh yeah, Pakistan.
They've already,
Although I read somewhere it would be around February 2025.
Just check.
Pakistan hosting it. Well, it could. They were okay hosting the Asia Cup.
Hybrid model. There you go. They hosted that. Hosted.
4 games.
That is a joke.
4 games. That
Yeah.
means what? 8, I think, which were
9 in Sri Lanka.
9 in Sri
So I think you are again going to see that same situation pan out, folks. Don't worry.
February and March.
That's the thing. It is in February.
Yeah,
Because
2025.
you play September in UAE
and for a
and
lot of bilateral diplomatic issues coming
yes,
up between India and
it will
Pakistan
start from
soon.
July. Let me tell you, July onwards it will
Yeah,
start.
it'll just be 6 months of tracking that news.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You are not going to play the ICC Champions Trophy in Pakistan. Already the news is now. They were barring a miracle. So that's the situation now.
Chalo,
Let's take
try
some
and
comments.
See what our
family members really get very happy if somebody makes a mistake. Yeah, SD Roy, I immediately corrected it in 2016. Yeah, a 5 test series. It happened in 2016. Yes, I do admit it. But I only remember 84 because it was the series of Vaseline. It was a series of all the other things.
That was when Bishanji was there.
Bishanji was there. Yes.
He was, I think, leading the side.
Was Bishanji there? I don't know.
Bishanji was leading the side.
Wasn't Bishanji gone by that time? Hadn't he retired?
Check, I think.
84,
when
it was
you-
Kapil Dev's era. Kapil Dev era and I think
Vaseline, I think.
was 84, John Lever.
We'll have to check.
Yeah.
Because I remember him objecting to the fact that Vaseline was being used and all.
Yes,
He objected to that.
Yeah.
Again, could be wrong with that.
Kuldeep Shivran is like telling me, you guys forgot that Ben Stokes, that guy is a master in test captaincy till date. Kuldeep, yes, 80% agree, 20% I don't agree. 20% I will tell you why. Australia and Edgbaston showed you. Yes, he tried to get early wickets, but then it didn't work.
No, but he's always there when the team requires him, to be honest.
Yeah, but see, Ben Stokes, the bowler, is a big miss. He bowled in Pakistan.
He won't be there.
He bowled those hard overs in Pakistan in the middle overs. That's what also helped, but he won't be there this time around. Freaking awesome is like saying India never lost a test in Hyderabad. This is where Harbhajan scored his century. It's a good wicket to back down the first innings. Average score 404, 377. Although it favors spinners if unaltered. I do remember that.
I don't think we have seen to 400 this series.
See, 2010, I remember that match against New Zealand. Harbhajan denied New Zealand twice in Ahmedabad and Hyderabad. So, yes. And which is the other thing, SD Roy 84 AGT saying Stokes is Ash's bunny. Yes, if I get that right, it's 12, I think, if that's the case.
And once Ashwin gets after someone in the beginning of the series, he doesn't leave that person.
Just you is saying Rohit key for India on ranked turns. Agree. Rohit Sharma will be the key.
Yeah,
he plays spin better.
Even in the lead up to the WTC final last year, he was your best century scorer, I would say. I think he had 3 centuries in that cycle, which was the most by any Indian.
Correct. But Shreyansh Pudipati is like saying, why can't SL and Bangladesh win in India? Because they also use sand pits. SL, I don't think so. They use sand pits anymore. But then look, Sri Lanka and West Indies, I think it is somewhere up in the mind technically. But SL and Bangladesh and Sri Lanka are technically and even mentally they are short. I mean, you look at Sri Lanka, even when there was peak Muralidharan and Herath, they never won a test in India. They've never won a test in India. It's not easy winning in India, my friend. It's far from winning a series. I mean, England and Australia are the only teams who have won in the 21st century. Or South Africa won it in 99, 2000. But in the 21st century, Australia won, England won, South Africa after those 2 draws in 8 and 10, they have never won a series, never won a test match in fact. So that's the situation. And Daniel M, India-Australia WTC rematch in a final. Maybe I can't look beyond them unless South Africa and New Zealand decide to...
See, Australia have a very good chance. Not only are they playing those 5 test matches against India at home later this year, but they're playing 2 against West Indies at the moment.
Which they won 1 and they're playing 1 more. They're playing 2 against New Zealand away.
Yes.
They're playing 2 against Sri Lanka and 5 against India. So you could see a potential India-Australia rematch, but you'll have to really pray for India that
They
happens.
already assaulted Pakistan the way that they did. So again, it's the fact that they're playing and these 2 West Indies matches also again are a given that they're winning both.
So remember, if it's India-Australia, pray, do Havan, do fasting for 40-50 days because you're going to play at Lords. And in the last, if you may say, 91 years, Australia has lost only thrice at Lords. 2009, they lost there. They lost in 2013 and none since then. They won in 15, they won in 19, only twice in fact. Wow. That's their record in Lords. So that's the way.
No, but it's going to be an interesting series.
Yeah, it will be.
Definitely.
Yes. GGK, as always, it's all on Rohit. He was only batter comfortable with spin and 100 in BGT first test. Rohit will be difference. Agree. Absolutely agree. Then Sarat Chandra is saying Ashwin, Jadeja, Kuldeep is best combo. Kuldeep will rip through and Aksar under Jadeja have been poor. Ashwin, Jadeja, Kuldeep.
So he's saying don't play
no Aksar. Yeah, India won at Lords too, but man, 2 times only in the last decade. So that's the situation. And Saurav Mukherjee, it's appalling. India playing England in India has to rely solely on rank turners. Only if MSD showed some guts, India would have had better value for Test cricket over 10 years now. But Saurav Mukherjee, I don't agree with that. See, under Virat Kohli, you produce the best pitches in India.
Yeah.
Under Kohli's captaincy, India's pitches were absolutely brilliant. It's only this WTC that has suddenly said, oh, no, we need rank turners, boss. That's why our averages were so poor.
Yeah, your mindset actually changed.
Yes.
In Kohli's era, you started getting good green wickets in Calcutta. They relayed the whole wicket so that you can prepare for overseas.
Your quartet of pace bowlers were the best in the Kohli era. Bumrah, Shami, Ishant, Umesh.
Made it a habit of picking.
Siraj came later, but then initially it was these 4.
Him under Virat is the one who
that's true. He was the one who initiated him into the team.
Under Virat, you had the best
Virat
captaincy
has actually
because
really changed how fast bowlers actually work.
you'll miss that era now. You'll really miss it. So that's why that's the situation now. And let's see, we are building up towards the India-England Test series.
You already started.
We are close to 250k. Please continue to show us love, folks. We hope not just an India victory on a consistent basis in the England series. We hope that you consistently like, share, and subscribe so that we can go past the magical landmark of 250k.
Have you already started working on your sleep cycle?
What sleep cycles?
You have
It's
to suddenly now in the
morning.
now,
Or it's
9:30.
He's anyway a morning person,
I
Siddharth.
am a morning
Have
person.
you started working
Yes.
on your sleep cycle
See,
already?
I have to work hard for my sleep cycle in December.
Why?
BGT 5 a.m.
Yeah. Here also 9:30.
He's
are
lost
starting.
it.
No.
Yeah.
I'm okay.
See, except for Adelaide and Perth, rest of the games are
But
5
I remember
a.m.
these Australian tests starting at 5, then you suddenly, I was in school, suddenly wake up
Oh,
early in
it
the
used to be
morning.
the same for all
of us.
You loved those Channel 9 graphics,
Yeah.
that
Oh.
graphic down on the bottom
And
of
then
the
listening
screen.
to the brilliance of Tony
Tony
Gregg,
Gregg.
Richie Beno,
Yeah.
Bill Lawry. I mean, if there is a God, I would only have one ambition out of those three. Ian Chappell doesn't do commentary anymore, but I would really love to meet
Gregg.
William Morris Lawry, Bill Lawry. Because more than those two, I mean, Beno was the connoisseur of greatness. For all of us content makers, commentators, he was the best. So, yes, India versus England, 25th of January is the first test match, Hyderabad. More such comments. Remember, England will not keep quiet. Neither
India
will we.
is also going to win their first under-19 game against Bangladesh.
Oh yes, I mean
Should win
53
from
for
here.
4.
Yeah.
Bangladesh are currently 53 for 4, 252 chasing. India anyway were expected to dominate. So from
No.
of course with this in Bangladesh team,
No, this
are
is
you
the
serious?
same Bangladesh team that beat you a couple of weeks back in the
Please.
semi-final. In
No.
the Asia Cup semi-final, they beat you.
Whatever it is, I mean, see, Asia Cup, World Cup is a different thing altogether. So
Yeah, but
intensity levels are a bit lower
yeah.
in that sense.
Let's give Bangladesh some respect. They beat the 2020 match.
And they have beat,
Most-
yeah, in the final at the same venue.
And-
I mean in South Africa.
No, this is
South
Mongong
Afri-
Oval, Bloemfontein.
In South
yeah.
Africa is what I mean.
You got one guy who's doing well in Bangladesh at this point in time from that 2020 batch,
Yeah,
Shariful Islam.
Shariful Islam.
So Akbar Ali, the captain's not
We
made
don't
it
have
yet.
anyone from that 20.
Bishnoi,
Bishnoi. Yeah.
Jaiswal.
Jaiswal.
What did they do wrong?
Bishnoi, Jaiswal. No, we don't have anyone from the next batch as of now.
2022, yes.
Was Raj Angad Baba,
Yeah.
Yash
Yash
Dhul.
Dhul,
Yes, though, yes, you don't have them.
Vicky Ostwal. Vicky Ostwal.
Vicky Oswal can't even get a game for Delhi Capitals.
Hunger Kicker.
And Ngidi. Lungi Ngidi and Vicky Oswal didn't get a game.
Who was the fast bowler with Hunger Kicker?
I don't remember, yaar.
No.
I don't remember. That those timings were so bad.
Yeah.
But I only remember one guy from that. It was a certain Baby AB. Evolved Brevis came from that. So, yep. Thank you so much, folks. From me, Shashwat and Harshad, it's bye-bye, Vanakkam, Nandri, Sat Sri Akal, Kemcho and all. We'll catch you in Sunday for the next edition of the Dugout. But more sporting action coming your way, folks. Bye-bye.